Hey everyone, it's IFBB Pro Regan Grimes here, BPI sponsored athlete, and you're watching MD No Bull Weekly.
Good morning everyone. Today is Wednesday, July 5th, No Bull Weekly episode 3. Lot to talk about. Greene, Cryptic videos. Shaun, Rhoden declares war. Real weights for real heroes. Regan Grimes backs up the hype. Chicago Pro and Vancouver chat, as well as a historic collaboration on the way, plus industry news and happenings next. Greene has been releasing a series of cryptic videos, but as of late, no response as to whether or not he'll accept Mr. Jim Manion's special invitation to do this year's Mr. Olympia. The Predator will be at Natural Bodies Queens Megastore this Saturday, July 8th, and will be touring India later in the month. Now, I have to say, Shaun Flexitron Rhoden has got to be one of the most underrated bodybuilders in the history of the game. How can you be first runner-up, win the Arnold Classic, and still not be in contention, according to many news pundits, to be the next Mr. Olympia? I mean, people are talking about Big Ramy. They're talking about Dexter Jackson. They're talking about the possible return of Greene. Nobody's talking about Shaun Rhoden. And to add insult to injury, there's a rumor going around that he's not even doing the Mr. Olympia. Well, that rumor has been debunked by the man himself. Flexitron told me he will most definitely be at the Olympia, and he's going there to win. So, you know, I don't know where this rumor came about that he's not doing the but it's not accurate. Also, something that really needs to be said is he went on Flex officially and declared war on Mr. Olympia. Phil, he's saying, you only won 3 Mr. Olympias. The other 3 were won by Greene. Now, this is a guy that doesn't do a lot of smack talk. This is a guy that gets overlooked a lot of the times because he's not out there running his mouth. He does his talking with his physique. Unfortunately, with social media and the way bodybuilding is today, a great physique with great lines, great proportions, doesn't get you the attention of the news. Hopefully, we change that. Real weights for real heroes is happening. A $50,000 opportunity to raise money for the Semper Fi Fund, August 19th, Middletown, Ohio, Power Station Gym. Looking over my notes here, this is a really impressive event. It's going to have pull-ups for reps, battle of the biceps, push-up for reps, deadlift twice your weight for reps. It's going to cost $20 to get in, $100 to compete. Donations will be accepted for a silent auction. All of the proceeds will go to the Semper Fi Fund. Great job. Mark Lobiner reached out to me with the press release. I really appreciate it. He made sure that MD No Bull Weekly was included. And this is a phenomenal event. Brad Castleberry, will he show? Who knows? But in any event, a lot of money will be raised for a great cause. Good job, Mark. Regan Grimes proved to the world that he wasn't just hype. Making his pro debut at the Chicago Pro Wings of Strength, this young buck of only 24 years old earned a top 5 pro debut in a very tough lineup, which, by the way, included Michael Lockett, who I predicted to win last week. Now, you know, doing this show, I'm getting a lot of constructive criticism, and one of the things that very, very important people that I respect told me, they said, don't make predictions, because if you're wrong, you're going to look really stupid, and that's the truth. I didn't make the prediction on the day of the contest. I didn't make the prediction as the guys were coming on stage. I made the prediction a week out, but you know what? I saw something on Michael Lockett, and he won the show. It was his turn. He well deserved that win, and he got it. Now, Regan Grimes' top 5 pro debut is nothing short of amazing. And speaking of Regan Grimes, Muscular Development, which hit newsstands yesterday, 4th of July, has a great write-up on Regan. We are the first print magazine anywhere to cover this phenomenal athlete. Well, the Chicago Pro was yet another successful Tim Gardner production. The Wings of Strength went off without a hitch, and Muscular Development was the only magazine, the only bodybuilding super site that was present in addition to NPC News Online. Our coverage was so phenomenal. We had 60,000 hits for our great play-by-plays and our phenomenal backstage interviews and coverage. So again, Muscular Development, #1 in contest coverage. Going into Vancouver, very big show. Michael Lockett may win again. Regan Grimes, fresh off his pro debut in a top 5 placing, looks very dangerous, as well as Paulo Almeida. This is his hometown. His friends and family will be in the audience. The Giant may win. Who knows? And there's some other great competitors. Also in the 212, Ricardo Correa, who did a phenomenal Ronline report from the United Kingdom, may win again. This is a guy that's going to the Olympia, doesn't compete all that much, and he is on fire. Also in classic men's physique, great competitors. My good friend Mark Sindayan is going to be there. Tons of talent. I mean, Vancouver is really shaping up to be one battle for the history books. Historic blockbuster collaboration. Mike O'Hearn, American Gladiator, one of the greatest natural bodybuilders of all time, a natural Mr. Universe, just donned the cover of Muscle and Fitness, one of the most prestigious muscle books in the game. He will be doing a collaboration with Kali Muscle. Everybody knows Kali Muscle, from his hyphy mud to his ramen noodle baths to his 1.3 million YouTube subscribers. Kali Muscle is the name of the game. Mike O'Hearn is the name of the game. I remember at an Arnold Classic a few years ago, I told both Mike O'Hearn and Rich Piana, guys, you really should do a collaboration. Many other people said the same. They did a collaboration. Today, that video has over 11 million views. So I expect nothing short of jaw-dropping insanity when Mike and Kali work together. Time for industry news and happenings. There's so much going on, I will have to be looking at my notes. Okay, first and foremost, a revolt at RX Muscle. Guru Hansa, who, as many of you know, cannot stand me, I will admit, is one of the oldest, most loyal RX Muscle fans. And he has posted a thread asking Dave Palumbo and asking, along with many others, that he please get back to bodybuilding. You know, it's really interesting to me because the Mack Truck interview was probably one of the worst interviews I have ever heard. The audio was terrible. They lost a guy 3 times. It was in his car. I mean, can't you, like, you know, be at home when you do it on a desktop with a microphone? It was the worst interview ever. And people are livid because they're like, this isn't bodybuilding. Muscular Developments in Chicago covering the Wings of Strength, getting 60,000 views, doing play-by-plays, doing backstage coverage, and you're talking about Mack Truck? So the question is, will Dave Palumbo listen? Ashley Kaltwasser will be at Battle on the Bay in Corpus Christi, Texas on July the 8th. The 3-time Miss Olympia is looking phenomenal, so if you're in the area, be sure to say hello to her. The Greg Valentino interview on Ronline Report was absolutely amazing. There have been so many people talking about it, so many positive reviews, including the boss man himself, Steve Bleckman. He went yesterday on Muscular Development Boards, and we've been talking often, but he went officially and he said, quote, Greg is the greatest bodybuilding storyteller of all time, end quote. You know, and he's not the only one. Generation Iron also thinks he's a phenomenal storyteller. Last week, he also did a great interview with Rick Drazen, Rick's Corner. I mean, Greg Valentino is on fire. Everybody wants to talk to this guy. Everybody wants to work with this guy. So, you know, he's talking to Steve again. So anything in the future is possible, and that's great news for bodybuilding. Also, your 2018 Arnold Classic tickets have gone on sale. Visit ticketmaster.com/Arnold, all in lower caps. And the password there would be Arnold18. Now, pre-sale did start July 1st. Get those tickets. And for God's sake, reserve a hotel room. I reserved this year 2 months early thinking I'd be all great. And I was at the Sheraton. Great hotel, but it was really like a mile away. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for industry news and happenings. We do have some forum questions that I'll answer next. Alright guys, time to answer some forum questions. The first one comes to us from Michael Edwards. He writes, Kai still has a size to be top 3, but I don't know about the condition. His legs carried him over Cedric in Ohio, but Phil's are on a higher level, so we know that 1, Kai will not beat Phil. 2, if Kai places out a top 3, it will be an embarrassment and hurt his brand, and so on and so forth. Yes, absolutely, I agree with Michael on that, and it's actually a point that Joe Pietaro and Greg Valentino made last year, and I believe I was on the show when they made it. The reality of the matter is that Kai Greene is known as the perennial runner-up. And a lot of people believe that he really is the people's champion and that he should have been number one, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But the reality of the matter is, let's say he does the Mr. Olympia, places third or fourth or fifth, you know, his supplement brand will be shot, his legacy will be shot, his fan base will be up in arms. I mean, some will, of course, say it's politics, and some will say that, you know, this is just, you know, but the reality of the matter is that he will lose a lot of appeal. So that's definitely got to be weighing on him very, very heavily. Now, another question we have here comes from Truth Serum. And Truth Serum basically wants to know if there's a deadline imposed by the IFBB for Kai to compete. Now, I spoke to several, you know, important people, and what they told me is similar to what Guru Hansa said, is that your qualification and your deadline are tied together. So whenever you qualified, the clock starts ticking. The thing is, Kai Greene got a special invitation, so actually he has no deadline. And, you know, Truth Serum talked about the 2015 fiasco, which I think is still fresh in all of our minds. And he talked about, why do we need so many hidden agendas? He talked about the fact that the fans would be so disappointed if Kai chose not to do the Mr. Olympia, and whatever happened to fair play. Well, I have to say, I agree with all of these things. I agree with all of these things, and I don't appreciate, again, I don't want to lash out at Dave Palumbo, but Dave Palumbo on a recent Ask Dave said that what Kai Greene should do is say nothing, wait till a week before the press conference and then announce, but on the condition that they don't release it to the press, and then sit front row at the press conference and have Bob Ciccarillo engage in some sort of a staged kind of, sort of conversation, then have Kai announce and then walk up and say he's going to compete. That would be horrible for Weider AMI in terms of marketing and promotion. That would be terrible to do to the other athletes. That would be, you have to think about that too. You have to think about the other athletes. I mean, Kai owes them a certain level of respect, as well as to the fans, as well as to the IFBB, as well as to Weider AMI. I mean, this is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. This is not, you know, Barnum and Bailey circus. You know what I mean? This should be treated with respect. And I totally agree with Truth Serum, and I totally agree that fair play needs to have a place. And quite frankly, you know, Kai, like I said at the very beginning, you know, you disrespected Robin Chang, you know, in 2015 when he gave you even an 11th hour invitation. And you may have whatever issues you have with Weider AMI, but Jim Mannion, the president of the IFBB Pro League, the chairman of the MPC, he has given you a special invitation. So I seriously hope that you don't plan on disrespecting that great man in our sport, and not even so much as giving us an answer, because that's the other thing. He might not give us an answer. He might not compete. He might not even be in Las Vegas for all we know. So again, you know, Truth Serum, 100% agree with you. I mean, you know, where is the fair play? I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, thank you so much for the forum questions and for watching MD Noble Weekly. Stay tuned till next week.